After that abysmal performance against Fulham, we have to start showing promise, and we need to kick on if we're looking to get into top 4 this season. To do this, Graham Potter needs to start dropping players that are not performing well enough and start experimenting in a way so we can find our best formation and team. In my opinion, I think we are much better in the 5 because it gives Chilwell and Reece James a lot more space in the wide areas and it stretches out defences that are playing low blocks, which is something West Ham might set up with like they did against Newcastle. And it worked as well considering they held up for a draw, which means our attackers need to step up for this game if we're going to reach top 4. Me personally, I'm not too worried about getting top 4 because we'll need time for the manager to find the best team possible that we put out. And with the fixtures being less congested, we can at least give time for players like Reece James, Chilwell, Fofana and Kante and even Kovacic as well to get back to being 100% again. I do think getting our European football means we have a good chance at the title next year. Remember the last time we didn't qualify for Europe? So this is my lineup for Chelsea versus West Ham. I want to start with the midfield because I think the whole formation depends on who plays in the middle. So although some people may disagree with this, I do think Conor Gallagher should continue in the middle, considering Zakaria and Loftus-Cheek won't be 100% for this game. Lewis Hall could be an option, but I wouldn't risk him in that pivot. Enzo is a no-brainer as well, considering he was disciplined at that role, so it makes sense continuing Gallagher and Enzo. Mason Mount needs to be dropped, so I think we should switch to a back 5. The 3 centre-backs include Badiashile, Chalobah and Thiago in the middle. I think this is the first time where we see a natural centre-back with the left foot to the left. We've obviously seen Cucurella, but he's a left-back. This could mark history, you never know. I don't know how 100% Chilwell is, but I think it's a no-brainer putting him on the left and obviously Reece on the right. I do think with West Ham's wing-backs, Reece James to Chilwell would be very important, especially on the left with Emerson, because as we all know, he's not very good defensively, is he? At least for the back 3, we'll have Chalobah and Badiashile covering Reece and Chilwell when they push up. At least we won't be as exposed as we were against Fulham. I chose Chilwell over Cucurella because I think Chilwell is the best left wing-back in the world. Can't name any other than maybe Theo Hernandez, even though he plays mostly in the back 4. It's a no-brainer having Chilwell over Cucurella in the back 5. It'll be very, very important when Chilwell and Reece James overlap and invert. You might say this is Pram Tuchel ball, but I say this is the best formation we could possibly think of, especially with that front 3 which I'll go into now. Mudryk, Felix and Madueke. In this moment of time, this is our best front 3 in my opinion. João Felix obviously comes back for this game and Madueke has obviously earned his chance. This video has obviously been recorded before Potter's press conference on Friday, I think it will be, so I'm not sure if Mudryk has recovered from the cold, if he even had a cold. Worst case scenario, we shift Felix to the left and we put Datro Fofana up top. I don't think Kai Havertz earns a place for this game. So Mudryk, Felix, Madueke. Plan B would be Felix, Fofana and Madueke. Hopefully it doesn't make a difference though. Gallagher could be asked to burst in the box every now and again, but it's risky because he leaves Enzo isolated again, and obviously West Ham love to counter. Potter needs to ensure he stays disciplined. Eunice made a good point on his channel about Gallagher and Mount pushing themselves forward. Potter obviously doesn't want that to happen because it leaves Enzo Fernandez isolated in the midfield. As we saw against Fulham, Mount impedes Mudryk and Havertz impedes Madueke as a result then. So he needs to discipline Gallagher if he's not simply listening. So yeah, this is why Gallagher and Mount need dropping. Mount especially, but Gallagher there's no choice until Zakaria's fit again. It's Gallagher's first season, so I'm confident he learns. Reminds me of Chalobah last season as well, when he was new to the team. He used to commit to challenges and leave his position and leave us exposed from behind. And none other than Thiago Silva cleaning up his mess again. Ironically again with Gallagher. So this is why Potter needs to step up and discipline these players. Kai Havertz is obviously trying, but as with all our strikers in the last 10 years, none of them are clinical, just like him. Reminds me of Morata in a way, the way he was countlessly offside and wasting chances, which is why we should try something new with Fofana and Felix. It's understandable that Potter is trying to mix experience with new signings, but with Havertz's and Mount's case, it's doing more harm to them than good, and it's obviously affected the players around them. So it's in everyone's best interest for them both to be dropped this time. Ziyech and Sterling can both offer something from the bench. Ziyech with his creativity and Sterling running into the box. I think it's important that we get the game overdone with in the first half, possibly, because I don't think Reece and Chilwell will last the whole game, which means we probably lose our best creative players on the pitch, especially on the left, like I said before, with Emerson being mediocre at defending. Kufa and Reece James will be an interesting battle, but I think Madueke will deal with them well. This is obviously another reason why we need 5 at the back, because compared to Fulham, where Mudryk and Madueke were isolated the left with the wingers and the left back, and since we played a back 4 against Fulham, it meant Reece James and Cucurella had to stay disciplined in the back 4 so they couldn't go up as much as they would in wing back. As we saw, when Azpilicueta tried doing the overlapping, left a huge gap behind him and Thiago Silva, which obviously Willian exploited, so we can't risk that against West Ham. So at least Thiago Silva, Badiashile and Chalobah will be there to protect the back line instead of Thiago Silva and Badiashile alone, which would leave them vulnerable when West Ham counter-attack. So yeah, wing backs will be important against West Ham. We need Mudryk and Madueke, and Felix should be back from the suspension. I'm confident we win this game because on paper this is a very strong team, but it depends on Potter really, because if he switches to back four I won't be so confident. He may insist on playing Havertz and Mount, you never know. He may even risk Cucurella at left wing back, but I'm not too sure considering Chilwell looks ready. He may not play the whole game, but like Reece, he may play like an hour or so. So the lineup goes Kepa, Badiashile, Thiago Silva and Chalobah as our centre backs, Reece James and Chilwell as our wing backs, Enzo Fernandez and Gallagher in the middle, and Mudryk, Felix and Madueke up front. A lot of players with points to prove. I reckon the complexion of the season changes from this West Ham game onwards. I hope Graham Potter gives our new front three chances to work together and bring us the result. I hope Zakaria is 100% by the time this West Ham game starts, because I want to see him and Enzo in the pivot. We're obviously looking for a DM in the summer, but I'm confident Zakaria is good enough for the role. May not need to dish out on Rice or Caicedo in the summer maybe, given Kante stays obviously. So that's all for today. Thank you to whoever, if anyone's listening, and look after yourselves and stay safe.